10 seconds. Oh, man. All right. Well, I really can't, man. I really can't sometimes, but let's get into this. Let's talk about what we just watched tonight. Good Lord Almighty. Give me the strength to get through this one. What up, Knicks Nation? Welcome to another KFTV post-game live. Guess what? The New York Knicks decided to face the Boston Celtics tonight. I do not mince word when I say decided, because, man, outside of Jalen Brunson, it was questionable if these guys wanted to show up to play tonight. Nevertheless, the New York Knicks faced the Boston Celtics tonight in Madison Square Garden. They had 3 days of rest after playing good basketball against the Houston Rockets, the Toronto Raptors. So, you know, with the extended rest, you thought that these guys would be ready to take on the team that, you know, destroyed them opening night on their banner night. You thought we were going to get some redemption, or even better, or even something of a close game. From the jump, it didn't even look like that. It looked like the Knicks were not ready. You know, the Celtics clearly wanted to prove a point to the New York Knicks. Knicks were just kind of going through the motions, boneheaded plays, all that stuff in the first quarter, even the second. It wasn't until the third quarter where things started to turn up, where Tom Thibodeau made the adjustment. Instead of having Precious in the starting rotation, to put Deuce McBride. And then next thing you know, you see this team cut it to 3. But then the Boston Celtics, with Derek White and Jason Tatum in particular, said, yeah, this is cool. We're going to end this. Losing this one 131 to 104. This thing wasn't even close. I mean, it was so disgusting that even Peyton Pritchard, who was on a heater this game, decided to continue to knock down shots in the fourth quarter against the reserves. It was just ugly all around. Captain's not happy. We're not happy, but we're here to discuss it anyway. Salute to Knicks Nation. Thank you for all tuning for another KFTV post-game live. Hit that thumbs up button for your boys. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. I'm your host tonight, Alex Gutierrez, a.k.a. the Stratocaster. With me on the other side is my guy, Jeff Johnson. All right, make sure to call in through the Discord as always. That's how we've been doing it. Phone lines, dunzo. No more of that, all right? So it's going to be through the Discord. Make sure to download the app, go through the web browser, whatever fits your fancy. Call in. I need to hear your takes tonight. What do you guys think about this game? What do you guys think about this team moving forward? There's a lot to discuss, all right? So let's make sure to stay locked in, tapped in, because there's some conversations that need to be had, Jeff. Jeff, how you doing, man? How are you feeling first and foremost? You okay?
I'm chilling. Oh yeah, man, I'm good. Everything's good. You can hear me clear. I'm good to go.
Oh, I
Everything's
can hear
good
you
now.
crystal clear, man. You're
Boom,
all
boom,
set.
boom.
You're fine.
Test. You hear that? You hear
Y-
that? Just want to
No,
make
I don't
sure
hear.
because I don't want to.
You're
You
good,
didn't hear
man.
that.
You're crispy.
Okay. Yeah, man. I feel the same way that I felt before. I know there's clearly levels with this contender game in the NBA. And the Knicks are not at that top tier right now. They cannot beat the Celtics without their whole squad. And there's a lot of things that they're going to have to think over and think over strongly. I hope they have enough data now to understand what it is they actually have to do to beat this team, or at least be able to compete,
Turn.
bro. That's really
Sorry,
what it is.
sorry, Jeff. Can you turn up your audio a little bit? Turn up your audio a little bit.
Test.
There you
Is
go. There
that
you go.
that's there we go. See, Alex, you got me in the wilderness with my plant. You got me in the wilderness right now. I don't know what's happening.
I mean,
Knicks
I
Fan
actually have to
TV
turn down
Nation.
I have to turn down my volume now, but everyone else is all
Yeah,
good.
I will. Well, I'll just run it back. Long story short, they have enough data, 2 games, 2 blowouts to figure out what they need to do. I don't think they can beat this team without their whole squad. I do think that there is more of an evaluation period that needs to happen. They said it on the broadcast, which if you want to know, if you want a sign that the Knicks have hit that echelon of respect, Richard Jefferson is telling folks you cannot evaluate this team until they have Mitchell Robinson. This was 10, 15 years ago. The stand-up routines would have been going off, and everybody would have been trying to get their jokes off instead of providing rational, logical, reasonable discourse and commentary about what's going on, or critique, I should say, right? So, yeah, man, To me, Alex, this game was lost at the opening tip when Precious started ahead of Deuce. I understand what the data may say for Tibbs, his rationale where you need Deuce to come off the bench to score. You don't really have that a guaranteed heater off the bench because Cam is hot and cold. Shamit has been mostly cold, and Precious ain't really giving you an offensive burst. I get it. I think that works against 29 teams in the NBA. The Celtics are the team that it doesn't work against. And you saw the change in the second half. Once he made that adjustment and he started, that's when they started turning up. But like you said, they didn't have the requisite energy. They looked like they were going through the motions to start. They had Luke Cornett looking like Mount Matumbo for the first 5 minutes of the game.
Bro.
It was just nuts, and I think it goes to scheme, it goes to individual play. But yeah, I mean, I'm upset that they got smacked because I never like to see the team get smacked. But I mean, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. Get to the All-Star break, get these next 2 games, rest up your people, and then get ready for the stretch run. And please try your best to get your lick back on the 23rd.
I hear you, man. I hear you. And just a smidge down, a smidge from what the people are saying in the chat. You sound good. You sound good. You sound crispy. Just a smidge, but you're all good.
Let me know. Chat, is this good? Is this level good? I'm like in the middle. So let me
perfect.
know. Pause.
That's perfect.
Just let me know if that that was crazy.
Yo.
That was crazy. But yeah, y'all just let me know and I can adjust it on the fly.
There we go. Look, Jeff, I for me, I tweeted this out. I said the Knicks came in here treating this like a regular game. Celtics came in here wanting to prove a point, and the Knicks should realize at this juncture that they have an X on their back. Okay, and some may say, and I've got a lot of response on X where people are saying why they're not the champions, they're not the champs. Celtics are. This is a team that just has bad defense. All those things can be true. But we saw this team get really competitive in the third quarter, and they brought it down to 3 points. All right. You talked about saying, hey, start Deuce instead of Precious in the first, as the starting lineup. I agree. I talked about this on my Game of the Week preview. I said in this type of matchup where even if Drew and KP were playing, I would still want McBride out there over Precious, because when you just think about the matchups, right, it just doesn't make sense to have Precious out there because he's just going to be a liability. Like, for as versatile as he is, he's not going to be able to match up, which he probably would have been on Drew. And he's not going to be giving you enough offense where this team could just lock everybody up and be okay doing that. And Drew would be very comfortable guarding Precious. We've seen him guard Randall. We see him guard Cat. He has no problem guarding bigs, and he's actually quite good at doing so. So that's all out there. So with the lineup. But I just think this team, like, when they want to, and I know it was mostly Jalen Brunson that was doing the work tonight in order to get this thing back down within 3 points, it just feels to me, man, that this team just, like, I don't know. It's just like we've seen this every single game at this point, right? Or like most games this season where they just go out there, they need to get punched in the jaw and be like, oh, hold on, man. We ain't like that, okay? And they just need to just start games like that. I know they don't have the greatest defense. I know that we could change up the rotations, especially against this team. But the Knicks have showed you in the third quarter that they have the capability of making this competitive. And so maybe if we start off with Deuce instead of Precious, this thing still would have been competitive. I'm not saying they would have won, but it could have been a little bit more competitive instead of putting them in a hole and then having to work twice as hard to get back into this game. But I watch this team and I'm like, dude, you're frustrating me because you're not at that level where you can just be like, we'll turn it up right now. It's okay. And teams that do that, that's that suckers type of stuff where you're just like, you're just messing with fire. You can't be doing that in the postseason. So one thing that we all asked for, I think most of us asked for, even though the team last year may have had a ceiling, right? And it's like, at least they competed on a night-to-night basis where it's like, I feel pretty good because I know they gave 120% tonight.
Yeah.
And from the jump, And so I just want that for this team moving forward. I know Brunson's talking in post game where he's like, he's not happy with this performance tonight. And so understandably, even though he was fine, the entire team didn't play well. And I mean, you give Tatum a 40 bomber tonight. You know, you get Jaylen Brown just looking mad comfortable in the first quarter, and then you have. I just dislike seeing Peyton Pritchard just go off the way that he did, especially on our floor, man. It is just disgusting. I mean, this team is good, right? We know the Knicks are good. They're third in the East. You can't take that away from them. They've beaten good teams. The teams that they struggled against right now, Celtics, Thunder, and we'll see against the Cavs, man. We're going to see against the Cavs in the next 2 weeks. And then after we play the Cavs, we'll see Boston again that weekend. And so this will be the true litmus test of where this team stands and what work this team needs to do. I keep going back to that this team has 3 to 4 years as of right now based on their contracts that they're going to be together. And so while I understand that this is not, finite, and I know that someone could push back saying, hey, you never know what the following year brings. You don't know what the following year brings for this team and what changes can be made. So it's all just, we have no idea. But at this point, this team is good, but defensively, a lot of things, man, just like the character of where you just got to get up and just work and just be ready to work against a top team. Like if you're trying to prove yourself against a top team, you can't just be like, this is a regular season game. We've heard him talk about the Thunder, right? Where it's like, oh, we got the Thunder. Josh and Jalen talk about it on the roommates, where they're like, yo, we know that this game means something to us. And then you get shellacked by the Thunder on your own home court. And we know that you guys know that this is an important game. And then you get shellacked again. And so to me, it's frustrating because the talent is there to make it competitive. And that's all I'm really asking for, is not to just be like this old jalopy, this old car, as the guys have already stated, man. It's getting a little tiring at this point.
I agree with you 100%. And I would also say we could talk about schematically what they could have did better, but you still got to play individually well. This was by far the worst game I think I've seen Josh Hart play.
For sure.
He, for those of you who indulge in plus minus, he had a team, second lowest plus minus at minus 31, second only to Precious Achua at minus 37. They were getting worked on defense. Like real talk, I haven't seen, like, Precious has been catching it bad the last couple of weeks, but he's been able to be resilient and bounce back. But him and Hart collectively were getting worked. I'm talking about purchase order type work. They got a lot of work, like dope on the block type work. Like how many shots went down where they didn't even put a hand up? They were actively missing rotations and leaving Boston Celtics shooters wide open. Wide open. That nothing encapsulated it more than seeing Precious Achua fall down on the floor, get up with his back to Peyton Pritchard, and then give like a wave contest, and Pritchard drains the three in his eye.
Yep.
This was the type of performance that we saw, and Cat can't hide either. He had a minus 26. He was getting mercilessly hunted. I think Jason Tatum just crossed him over again, and to the rack for a two-handed dunk. This was happening consistently with Cat, and I don't know what's going on. They were talking about his knee, and I respect him. I definitely respect Cat for playing through all the injuries that he's played through this season. But at this point, I think we're at the point of the season with the Knicks where you have an idea of what your team is. You have a comfortable lead, third in the East. At this point, barring major catastrophe, you're not falling out of that top four. You're not falling to top out of the top six. Rest your guys. These guys need to get rest. They need to get as close to 100% as possible to get ready for this stretch run. We don't need any more Herculean efforts. We don't need them to try to fight through stuff. I'd rather them be healthy for April, May, and June than for February. Straight up and down. Like at this point, if he was going to go out there and do all of that, he might as well have sat. Because you could tell he was fighting through a lot of stuff. Now on the positive end, he don't got no more rap on his hand. And he dunked with his right hand. So now I guess his thumb regenerated. I don't know what's going on with his left hand. His left hand, he looked like Rick Steiner out there with both his hands taped up for like the whole time. I don't know I don't even want to know what's up with the left hand. The shooting hand is the one I'm most concerned with. He didn't have any protection. He didn't have any wrap, and he dunked with it. So now your hand is good. Now I need your knee to be good. We talking about the knee bone connected to the thigh bone, the hip bone, all of that. Like I sound like one of these Twitter doctors, but that's what we need at this point. If they was gonna go out there and vibe out, I would have rather see Huck Porty for 40 minutes. At least I know he's gonna be active and give a damn on defense. They really didn't, bro.
And while they didn't, and I mean, look, we can talk about the 3-point shooting yet again to get with this team. Just the 3-point defense is just not there. We're still 30th. According to Clean the Glass, we are 30th when it comes to accuracy, meaning teams hit a very high rate. Even though we give up the fewest amount of threes, they hit them at a high clip, which I don't care. Like, I don't even care if you're number one and giving up the fewest threes. Everyone's knocking down threes because you're just leaving them wide open, as you talked about with Precious and Pritchard right there, or even Tatum. And how about Bridges, going underneath the screen and just giving Tatum way too much room to just knock down a three. It's stuff like that bothers me, because we have to adjust. We're going against a team that loves to put up threes, that's capable of putting up threes, and we didn't want to adjust to that. And that's something that Thibs has to work on and figure out, because look, there's going to be other teams. Cavs are coming up. They're going to be another team that can shoot the three. It just is there, and it's an issue. I mean, even against OKC, a team that doesn't even shoot threes like that, we have Isaiah Joe that's just going and attacking us, or an Aaron Wiggins that just attacks us. And it's more than just, these teams aren't necessarily good threes. These are all NBA players. They can all knock down open threes. I mean, they practice that on the regular. So put a body out there. Put a body on the perimeter. I like to see that. But to your point about giving them rest, Jeff, I kind of got to push back, because they had enough rest coming into this game. And I get that injuries, like a knee injury, can be aggravated even while you're on your off days and stuff of that nature, or just coming back for the first game. But I just, if he's comfortable bodying people, attacking the rim, I'm expecting you to give a little bit more on defense. All right.
Fair.
You want to cross up, you want to do all those things behind the back, and you talk about your knee being injured. That's all cool and dandy, but you got to be putting that same type of effort on the defensive front. Okay. And so for Cat, this was a bad game all around. Okay. He was getting destroyed in the pick and roll. The Boston Celtics knew exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted to get Brunson, Cat right there, and then just split the defense easily. And Tatum continues to waltz down the lane. He's still waltzing down the lane at this point, getting to the rack. Okay. Game's over. He's still doing it. And so for Cat, man, I get it. Rest him. You want to make sure that he's ready, and I'm all cool with that. But I just can't, in good conscience, watch tonight's game and be like, oh, look how he's attacking in the third quarter and driving and going against bodies and just trying to do this and trying to do dribble combo moves as a center, or even saying, I'm going to bring the ball to Jalen, don't worry, and then draw contact. I just can't, in good conscience, think of that, because if you're fine enough to do that, if you're comfortable enough to do that, to be that physical, then I would hope that you can move laterally enough and give enough gusto, as Clyde would say, to put a body on somebody. That's all I'm asking for, man.
That's 100% fair. I just want to remove any type of excuse. Your knee was hurting, then sit. Because if you're not going to give this effort, maybe it's more practice. Maybe it's somebody sitting down and breaking stuff schematically. Maybe it's an effort thing. It's got to be an effort thing. And this is all fair to question at this point. Because if a dude like Huck Porty can come in and navigate drop coverage and pick and roll, and he a rookie, and he can do it better than you and looks more active than you, and you've been in the league damn near 10 years, at this point, it's not a physical limitation. Because let me say this, if we're going to play the Say Something Nice challenge with the Knicks tonight and try to find a positive, I think this was one of the best two-way performances Jalen Brunson put up in his Knicks career. Not just of the season, of his Knicks career. Because one of the things that this team is going to have to do in order to succeed is stand on their square individually, defensively. At some point, they're gonna try to hunt you, Brunson. They're gonna try to hunt you, Cat. You're gonna have to be able to guard up one-on-one. You're gonna have to take an assignment. You don't get help. You don't. We taking it back to the old school. You don't get help, and you see what you could do. And in this game, Brunson was fighting. He was blocking the entry passes to come in. He was fronting Jaylen Brown. He was D'ing up. He took the challenge on D'ing up Tatum. I would love to see the numbers that come out tomorrow about how his individual defense was player to player, because this dude was out there working. And that's the difference that I see between Brunson and Cat right now on defense. I see the effort. Just like Deuce. Deuce was guarding Jaylen Brown majority of the night. Brown is able to rise up on him because he has about 6 or 7 inches of height on him, right? So he still has to work. He hit a turnaround shot, and on the broadcast they were like, "Yeah, he's like it's like target practice for him." And I'm like, "Well, this is like target practice with one hand cuffed because Deuce is there guarding up. If he guards you, if you guard up, like I know people might want to get on Bridges tonight. There was nothing he could do. Jason Tatum." He hit us with the elite beige rage tonight, bro. Like real talk. There was nothing we could do. There was nothing you could do. He was cooking. And when elite players get into that cooking mode, you just gotta hope they miss or start double teaming them. So I'm with you with the effort. And the thing is, I know Cat is intelligent. I know he's athletic enough. I've seen him guard up on the perimeter and be able. He has the ability. He's capable. But is he willing? Or does he have the focus to be consistent with it? These are the type of things that I do think are correctable. Because if it was just a physical limitation, then it is what it is. But at this point, it's willingness, it's effort, it's mental acuity, it's focus, it's all of those things. That's what we're gonna have to focus on with him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Shout out to Knicks Nation. Thank you all for tuning in for another KFTV post-game live. I'm your host tonight, Alex Terrace, a.k.a. the Stratocaster. With me on the other side is my guy, Jeff Johnson, a.k.a. Jeff J. Says. So make sure to follow him on all socials as well. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button for your boys. Shout out to CP in the chat. CP hosted another watch party at Clinton Hall tonight. Woo, tough one, bro. Tough one, bro. Tough one. But hey, thank you for being here with us, man. Thank you for being here with us. You know, everyone make sure to call in through the Discord. I see that you're all lining up. Guys, everybody in the members lounge, if you're in the members lounge, I'm going to have to ask you to go to the regular lounge right now. So Knicks Fix and Big V from Harlem, we have to ask you to go to the regular lounge because for some reason, unless TM's here right now, Tim, I don't know if you're in the chat or not, but make sure to unlock this thing for me because right now it somehow just got disabled for me. So I need it to be unlocked in order to drag them through. So Big V from Harlem, Knicks Fix, make sure to go into the lounge. I'm going to start lining people up. I do want to hear your takes tonight. All right, so let's just pull some people.
That is crazy. It's like they was in the members lounge and then they got to go to a regular lounge. It's like, hey, big man, we're not doing hats tonight. We're not doing hats tonight, big man. You have to throw it in the car. You can come right back to the front of the line. You come right back to the front of the line. But we're not doing hats tonight. Not doing sneakers. I apologize, man. I thank y'all and good night.
Yo, fun little story before we get to the phones. You know, that was, I think it was like over 10 years ago. Me and my boys wanted to go to Slate actually. It was like for one of my friends' B-Days party. And one of my boys were showing up to the door. Like I got in, the other two got in. One of my boys, he didn't. I'm like, yo, what are you doing in shorts? Like it's pants, bro. You got to have pants to get into the club. It's like shirts don't even matter. You see guys with t-shirts. Bounce looked at him like, bro, you wearing shorts? Like, we don't even care about the hats tonight. We don't even care if you're wearing a t-shirt. You could be wearing like a phrase on your t-shirt tonight for all we care. But you can't be coming through in shorts, man. It was just a rough night. So then we try to go through every single clothing store in Manhattan just to get in. No luck to his avail to get in, so he had to go home. But hey, that's just kind of what it is.
Crazy.
Yeah, I know, man. Mad flagrant. All right. I won't say your name, bro. I won't say your name on TV, but you know who you are. I know you tap in. All right. Let's get to the calls, man. Let's get to the calls. Knicks Fix, you're up. What's going on, bro? How you feeling about tonight's game?
Alex, Jeff, what up, guys? You guys can hear me?
What's up?
We can hear you, my man. How are you feeling?
Yo, listen, man. Tonight, I'm gonna say it, man. I saved my pennies up. I became a channel member. I joined just so I could be the first one to say this, Alex. Drop coverage, man. Yo, that's the main thing. Yo, how many games we gonna watch this? The Celtics. I'm gonna start off with saying this. I'm gonna make a point, and then I have another point, but I kind of want to hear what you guys have to say in between, right? Yo, the Celtics defense was this: come out on the pick and roll. You know, they have the defensive center. The defensive center will show and at least hedge and provide some pressure on JB, and then recover to the paint. They don't play drop coverage because they know that Brunson will carve them up, right? For us, yo, every night I say the same thing, Alex. Cat plays so far in drop coverage that the opposing guard just pull it for the three. Now, when the opposing guard takes the pick, right? When they take the pick and they switch with Cat so far in drop coverage again, they pull out a mid range. Then, if he actually defends, he's so unathletic. He got like giraffe feet, bro, that they just lob it up to the dunker spot. You know, I've been saying this. If you have Cat out there, then you got to play him with a weak side defender if there's no OG. It got to be Huck helping out, right? Because that guy got to come over on the weak side to help him block. He's getting abused. And like Jeff said, man, see JB trying. I see JB trying. And the thing is this: at what point are we gonna point the finger at Thibs and say, "Yo"? He likes to say every game, "Yeah, you know, we let the game tell us what to do. The ball find energy, and we play the same defensive scheme. It don't matter if we play the Wizards or if we play the Rockets or if we play the Celtics. Nothing changes, bro. We lost by 23 in game one. We lost by 27 tonight. What does that make you realize? There's no adjustments. Period. And Alex, I know, like you said, this might be a 4-year window, whatever. But if we have Thibs, what makes you like? I want you guys' opinion on this. What makes you think that he's actually going to change? Because we're playing the same way we do against the scrubs, and we're playing against the contenders. We're playing the same defensive schemes. What you guys think about that?
You know, I would say that against anybody, scrubs, no matter who, that Tibbs going to believe in his principles, and if he wants to coach that scheme, he's going to continue to coach that scheme. I don't see him being like a Nick Nurse saying, you know, we're going to throw out a box and one, we'll go zone, and I would like to see that. I think you should offer those type of things based on what the roster looks like. I also think that Tibbs is just at this point, you know, we see that they asked about Mitchell Robinson during a presser, and it's like, well, we didn't trade him, so what's the comp? Like, you should be able to read the tea leaves and the confidence that we have in him and what he can provide to us. And so I think Tibbs is also prepping for Mitchell Robinson because he knows Mitchell Robinson in drop coverage is going to work much better than Karl-Anthony Towns. Of course, the question and always the pushback is going to be, can Mitch stay healthy enough for this to actually work and continue and bring us to the promised land? But look, when it comes to Thibs, we all know he's going to stick to his convictions. I mean, most coaches do. You know, if you go on Twitter right now, you'll see this is the same thing for Ime Udoka and how he likes to run. It's the same thing for Joe Mazzulla and how he likes to run his offense and just drop threes. Like, each coach has their own thing that they're going to stick with and try to preach and get things to work. And that's just what Thibs is, man. He's gonna ride or die with drop coverage.
Yeah, and you know what? This is what I would add. Thibs does have the capacity to change. We've seen it throughout this time. The way he interacts with his players, the fact that they don't really practice as much, but he'll still have them playing a whole lot of games. He makes adjustments. He's made adjustments throughout every year. Now, does it take a while for him to make it? He wants to play 25, 30 games before he has enough data to say, my way isn't working, so now I have to change. He adjusted in this game. The first half, he was like, yo, we're going to run pressures out there and see what happens. He saw what happened and said, nah, we need Deuce. So there is adjustments with that. But just with this game alone, drop coverage is not the issue. It's the players playing it that's the issue. If I give you a plan to execute and you don't execute it to the best of your ability, does that mean that my plan doesn't work or that it wasn't given the best chance to succeed?
So
now
that's the thing.
you can have an argument about whether or not the personnel match the plan, right? You can have that argument. You can have that argument. What I think is there are certain teams where that scheme would work and others where you're going to have to mix it up. I don't think drop coverage was the issue. I think there was a lot of more than 4 players on the Knicks tonight were just playing bad defense all around. Whether it was drop, whether it was switch, they were getting sauteed out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So good point. Both very good points. Like I agree. Yeah. I agree with that. there has to be a point where we discuss this and say Hart is getting cooked on defense, right? So he had a horrible game. Now he gives us a lot of intangibles, but when Mitchell Robinson comes back, the question is going to be Mitch is going to be absolutely vital because we can't close with this lineup against the Celtics. We can't close with this. So now the question becomes, does Hart shift to the bench? Because at the end of the day, what I wanted to say was this. I'm going to touch on it and then I'll get out of here so other guys could talk. But like, our offense is the other issue. You know, Cat only had 2 shots on the first half, right? Both of which were threes. Now, he's not getting no touches to start the game. So other teams are just penetrating, kicking the ball out, hitting the three. Our offense looks like it's 1994 and Derek Harper and Patrick Ewing running ball, bro. Like, it's stuck in the mud. But anyway, man, like, I'll let you guys cook tonight. But yo, this was embarrassing. This 2 weeks in a row, national television. We're getting our butts kicked, bro. All right, guys, stay up, man.
Appreciate you, Knicks Fix, for calling in. Have a good night, my guy. Yo, I feel the pain, bro, and especially I feel the pain. Like I truly get it. And look, Thibs is not absolved from getting criticism. Like he's all part of like he's all. It's all fair to criticize Thibs for some of this stuff, but I think to what Jeff's point is, and it's also very accurate, is that if Josh Hart's going to be playing like the worst game of his career, like this season, I should say, one of the worst games this season, if Bridges is going to continue to go under when we really need him to go over on screens, then it's not going to work to the best of its ability. And this is where players really have to get down into the detail. And this is why we even criticize Cat, man. It's like, are you going to give the effort and be detail oriented enough when it comes to working and what you're trying to do? And I can understand limitations. And this is why I do say I would like to see Thibs switch it up, because some of these players do have limitations, right? But at the end of the day, like to your point, Jeff, like if they're not executing, they're not executing. And so it's on them to also like help. I don't know what the percentage is, if it's 50-50, 60-40, who you want to put the blame on, so forth. Everyone's at blame for this one tonight, okay? You can even blame for Thibs saying, hey, why didn't you start McBride? Like this game clearly calls for McBride because we don't like. We've seen enough. We know who Precious is over 2 years. If we can have that dialogue on a podcast, on a show, and just be like, oh, I don't think this is going to be it. I think you should be able to say, hey, this matchup ain't going to be it. And he's done that in the past where it's like, all right, not this one. We're gonna switch it up.
Yeah, and Knicks Fix, if you need some solace and some tranquility in your life, just know this will not be the lineup that closes against the Celtics because OG will be there. Yeah. This is easy to forget, but OG wasn't there today. And yeah, OG was there when they got cooked in the first game of the season. I definitely hear you on that. But he wasn't there tonight, and he will be there when to close out against the Celtics or whoever it is going to be. So you don't that isn't as much of an issue because it's a personnel thing. And he's going to be there, barring any other injury or whatever. That's the lineup that you're going to close with. And I think it does get situational depending on the talent in front of you and who you're facing. So,
yeah, I mean, look, we didn't have OG. We didn't have Mitch. They didn't have Drew. They didn't have KP. So, like, tonight was a fair fight, in my opinion. So, like, I go back and forth, but, like, how much can I make, man? It's like, there's so, like, this is why it's like each game, it's so tough to predict against a Celtics team where it's hilarious. And, you know, like, I live out here in Beantown. It's hilarious. Like, people are like, I played pickup today. People are like, so Alex, how do you feel tonight? I'm like, I hate answering these questions, man, because I all know you're looking for me. And I'm like, I'm not answering this question, okay? Like, I just, like, it's hard for me to be like, yeah, we're always going to win this team. Like, I can't be that ultimate of, like, a homer after seeing what we've gone through it. But it's like, at the same time, like, I do believe this team can compete. And we saw them compete. And so they're more than capable of competing against this team. It's just putting it all together for 4 quarters. And it's the same thing with the Thunder. We saw them compete with the Thunder. It's putting it all together for 4 quarters. But let's keep it moving, Jeff. Let's get to the next caller. Big V from Harlem. What's going on?
Yeah, hear me? Mic check, mic check.
Mike,
yes, sir.
Mike is down. Crispy clean. What's going on?
What's really good, Alex and Jeff? Salute, salute, salute. 3 CP faces. Yo, check this out. I think we had too many days off. Too much rest. Bodies got tight. The knees got sore. You know what I'm saying? No rhythm.
Yeah.
We don't practice, so we not in it. I know they probably in the gym shooting, but an empty gym and a packed MSG is totally different. You know, and we got a lot of nagging injuries, and is taking a toll. That's why the All-Star break is a welcome thing coming up, man. And we're too small. We're too small. We need
I
Mitch back.
We definitely need Mitch back. I do agree that we're small, especially against a Celtics team that has enough wingspan and height. I mean, we're watching guys just. I mean, how about that Hart and Brown matchup? I mean, there were moments where I was like, "Oh, Hart actually has JB like stuck. Like, what's he doing? He's just continuously pivoting, and then next thing you know, he just rises up, shoots over. I'm like,
Rise up and shoot right
you
above
you
us.
you just can't do anything against that. And so, having OG will help, having Mitch will help, but at the same time, it all comes back down to execution. But that's a good point you bring up. Is too much rest for this team now? Is there too much rest where
Listen,
they just get out of a rhythm?
it's
That
too
is the
much rest
thing.
for us. We're getting frustrated not seeing our team play. It's been what? It seemed like 2 weeks we haven't seen them play, and it's what, been Monday or Tuesday?
It
You know
was
what I'm
Tuesday.
saying?
Yeah, they haven't played
It
since
was
Sometimes you
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
need that break, bro. Sometimes you need that break to recharge and reset as a fan
Yeah,
base.
we we,
They
we
be
had two
stressing it
weeks
out.
of a lot of break. And
That's true.
I gotta say this as well. Tibbs has no bag. He has no pivot.
Mm.
When the team is pushing against you the way the Celtics push against you, you gotta shake it up. You gotta shake it up a little bit. You put Deuce in, Deuce can stop the ball, but that should have been the starting lineup. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? The
So
drop
so he
coverage.
he made that adjustment in the second half. What else would you want him to do? You see, that's the sound they was making tonight. That's the sound all the defenders was making tonight, bro. That's the sound we always making tonight. Jason Tatum just dunked again. Again,
Oh
bro.
my, yo,
You
that's when
get
I
what
knew
I'm saying?
that's when the game was in trouble. When the seas parted and two-handed dunk straight through the middle, that kind of sealed it for me in the beginning. And then running Josh Hart, just like 5 straight plays and 5 straight turnovers. Josh, I love Josh, but that can't happen. Jalen Brunson is the point guard for a reason. I know they pressing him full court, but you gotta start the offense with your best player, you know. And Lord have mercy, man.
They
Oh,
went
I
off.
got I got to push back on one more thing you said, Alex. This was not a
Right.
fair fight. It's not a fair fight against the Celtics. We're paying almost every night 7 on 12. We got 5 starters, and we got 2 off the bench, and our bench does not score. And the Celtics are a well-built team. They just picked up another piece, and like everybody's saying, we need 2 more cycles to get this team right. And until we get right, and it's gonna be a uphill challenge.
I disagree, man. Like I hear the pushback saying, "Hey, they got depth, they got all that type of stuff." Look, you get 3 days
Luke
rest, you should be coming
Cornett
out here
was
looking
looking
good.
like Mutombo and Quita. Luke and Quita. And I don't remember this Luke. This is not the Luke we had.
Bro, I don't know what has happened. That man was time chamber. He came out and be like, "Yo, I'm gonna be." It's aggravating to know that KP and Luke have a championship ring with the Celtics. That is the most aggravating thing possible.
Yeah,
Very,
that kind of
very
broke my
annoying.
heart.
Extremely annoying. But yo, bro, like they was turned up. They was turned up like they played in the Garden. And the Garden was their home. Like they
Tonight
wanted to
it
have a
was.
battle of where
All
the
those
real
Celtics
Garden.
fans was in there.
I mean, they always in there. Their gentrification knows no bounds. So they're always
That's
gonna
true.
be in the Garden. And people are gonna flip their tickets. They're gonna hit a lick. Or you want to come down to Boston now? Good luck getting on Amtrak to get home
On
in
a
that
snow day.
snow. Yeah,
Yes.
On a snow
enjoy.
day.
Y'all not seeing the Super Bowl tomorrow, and good riddance to the Patriots too. Good riddance to the Patriots too. But yeah, man. Like I hear you. See, this is the thing that I want to guard against. I want to guard against, and I'm not saying you saying this, V, but just the way that we vacillate between our team is the greatest ever and they're trash. The reality is they're a lowercase c contender.
Yes.
They're in the second tier, right?
Absolutely.
This is where the big boys play. When you play the Celtics and the Thunder, because the Cavs, they still really got to show me something because the Knicks gave them that game in the Garden, the first one. I'm going to keep it real. Like, I'm not taking nothing away from them, but I've seen their movies before. I've seen the sequels. I've seen the spinoffs. So they're going to have to show me. I saw the Utah version They're going to have to show me something different. They're going to have to show me that they really for real. And that DeAndre Hunter trade,
Oh man.
I mean, they put their chips in the middle of the table too. But what I'm saying is, we know what the Celtics are about, and we're still figuring out what the Knicks are about, including that team themselves. I think they are a good team. This doesn't mean that they're a bad team. That just means they're not that team. And then the journey is to become that team, to become a championship team. So this is part of the journey. So I just want to say that, like, criticism is valid. Feeling frustrated is valid. I hate losing to Boston teams. I really hate losing to Boston teams, but I'm not gonna lose the plot. You feel me? Like, I'm not gonna lose the main thing. I know what it is, and we just gotta hope, to your point, V, that they make the proper adjustments and they know what they get the data, they use the data, and then they implement the learnings based off the data.
Thibs has to pivot. Thibs have to pivot. And one more thing for our sign off, fellas. Thank you very much. What is up with these refs? Are they blind? Jalen Brunson goes up for a three. The ref standing right there doesn't make the call, but the ref on the other side of the court makes the call. Come on, man. Something got to give. We gotta find them or something. Something got to give. With 2 minute reports on the ref, something got to happen, man. Especially that ball milk dud ref from the other game. he was killing me,
bro. The 2 minute report tonight is the catch menu, because them refs went to go eat. They was like, yo, we speeding this up. We about to go get dinner. Like, what you ordering tonight? I heard the steak is delicious. Like, bro, they made that happen. But I hear you on that. I can't ref. There's definitely not ref this one.
No, this is not a ref night.
Unless a ref put up a 3, but it is getting annoying. It is getting annoying in some of these games. This game, Brunson had to open the dark hold and cast all types of magic to try to get to the free throw line.
So I mean, we're seeing Celtics Nation just go in shambles, be like, I hate watching Jalen Brunson because he has to go foul hunting, and I'm like, oh my god, guys, just go cry me a river somewhere else. Just go get out of here. But Big V, appreciate you for calling in, man. Appreciate you for calling in as always. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah. Boston fans out here now crying, like, oh, he's a foul.
Well, we hate how your whole city's mentality is F the Yankees, and you don't have your own. But we won't go there tonight.
We won't do that tonight. We won't do that tonight. Because I don't even give him that type of energy. All right. Let's keep this thing moving, man. We got a sponsor for tonight. We got SeatGeek. So, guys, let me tell you a little bit about SeatGeek over here, all right? SeatGeek, one of the sponsors of the show. And look, we already know how ticket prices are, especially if you're trying to go to Madison Square Garden or anywhere right now. For me right now, trying to go even to TD Garden to go watch in 2 weeks, ticket prices are going up there. But the best thing about SeatGeek is that they can help you find those lowest prices possible. Lowest price right now, average at MSG, is $144. That's why you got to use SeatGeek, all right? You can use the code KFTV10 and get 10% off any tickets on SeatGeek, whether you're a new customer or not. Sports, concerts, festivals, you name it. You can go get any of those things for 10% off. SeatGeek rates on a scale of 1 to 10. So look for the green dots. The green means good. Red means bad. All right, take a look at the dots below so that way you all know how to identify. And no matter how many times you've bought tickets using SeatGeek before, use code KFTV10 is going to get you 10% off your next order. So take out your phone, open up SeatGeek app, and add the code KFTV10 to your account. What are you waiting for? Do it now, because this offer is only available for a limited time, all right? So, look, you all want some cheap prices for watching the Knicks play? Like me and Jeff over here, we also use SeatGeek to make sure that we get the best deals available. Make sure to use that promo code KFTV10 to get 10% off any tickets on SeatGeek. Doesn't have to be sports. It could be concerts, festivals, you name it. All right, Jeff, just had to do that little ad read there.
Of course. Get money.
I gotta listen to that song later. All right, let's keep this thing moving, man. Let's bring some more. Let's get Zach on the line. Zach, unmute your mic, man. How you doing? How you feeling today? Zach, are you there? Zach, going once, going twice. All right, man. I have to mute you. I try to be kind when it gets to the third call. Got to put you back, all right? Got to put you back on hold. Got to get to the next person. ZB91, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
Good.
What
Hey,
up?
well, doing all right, man. I won't say good because it could be better.
Doing all right. We were the one in the win with this one. Yeah, I'll
If we
just
would
keep
have
it
won
straight.
tonight, I would have been jumping out the window. I'm gonna keep it real with you people.
Yeah, definitely. This was supposed to be like that test to show us that we were like legit, right? They gave us a beating in the first game, and we just wanted to just get the get back. But I mean, what I see here is a lack of really ball handling and not enough people
Hmm.
going at the rim. Like we were settling for a lot of bad shots. Particularly like I didn't like a lot of like Mikal Bridges has that like floater midi, but it's kind of like someone has to go to the rim and really push it. Like the only way we're gonna get away with Celtics and their game plan of just having two bigs out there that's just like making sure nothing like packing anything up that gets to the rim would have been consistently forcing the rim and getting foul calls, like getting them in foul trouble. And it's like we didn't feed Cat and there's no one really attacking the rim. You know, everyone was just getting packed. So it's kind of like, what was the game plan that they went in? I think they just scrapped the game plan once those three started getting hit early in the game, and Celtics went on that early run. It's just kind of like, what was the game plan? We it didn't look like we had one. I think that's where we start off, and Cat just looks slow. Like it's this is a game that he probably should have sat out. I'm thinking if he wasn't 100%, he should have sat out because it's like I think we got better minutes with Porty, you know what I'm saying, just being there, kind of being running around a little bit faster and defensive than like how much we lost on defense. Like he was okay on offense, but it was like we lost a lot because they were running the same exact. Like I knew every time Tatum got the ball at the top of the like at the top of the key is just kind of like we know what you're about to do. High pick and roll, then you're just gonna kind of just go around Cat. So it's like a bad game plan for the Knicks and a good game plan for the Celtics. So I don't know. What's your thoughts on that in regards to like what's the best way if Cat's not doing good? Are we just gonna keep him out there to just get cooked on the defense? Like, what was the game plan?
Appreciate the call, ZB91. Yeah, so for like, what are we gonna do with Cat? I mean, look, it's tough because as of right now, this is a very top-heavy roster. I don't expect like it's gonna be very difficult for this team to continuously give guys rest. I mean, we've done that for Cat 2-3 times this season, maybe maybe a little bit more, maybe one more game. But look, when we've seen Cat, whether it's with the thumb, whether it's with the knee, we've seen him miss games against the Pistons and I forget the other teams he's missed against as well. But like we've seen this happen before, and I think the difficulty is that when you're in this race trying to compete for the second like seed, like number one seed's kind of ridiculous at this point to actually think it's like unless the Cavs like completely just decide to bottom out. Like I think it's a little tough to even reach those type of expectations. But to compete for the second, if you want to have home court advantage on the other side of the bracket, like this is where the balance of all right, are you really good enough to play? Do you really need to sit? Because look, when it gets to the postseason, you want to give your bench, Deuce, Precious, Mitch, all those guys. You want to give these guys a shot campaign to actually perform well, and they bench players just perform better at home court. On top of that, you just want to make sure you have that for as long as you can because you want to have it on your turf rather than having to go to someone else's turf, right? So I think this is where the whole thing of just balancing, like, all right, who do we want to rest? How do we make sure that we keep the separation between, the Celtics? How do we keep that close range between the Celtics and potentially past them? Make sure we're not bottoming to the fourth too far. Like, there's all that calculation, and it's just difficult. And I think for Cat, unless it's like super serious, and we know he can miss time due to injuries, I think you got to allow him to play because at the end of the day, in the postseason, if he's injured, he's got to learn to play through it. And so what better chance than having the opportunities now to learn to play through injury if you're capable of doing it? If you got to miss time, fine, miss time. I think the difficulty now is that our center depth, is a little lacking until Mitch gets back. So if Cat's not out there and we're still waiting for Mitch, which he probably won't be back until, they're saying hopefully before March 1st. I'm thinking he'll be back for that Celtics game in Boston on the 23rd. If you don't have Mitch for that time, if you don't have Mitch until then, and we're going to say, let's rest Cat for a few games, it's just Ariel, Porty, and Precious. And I don't know if you all want that to be your five. I like Huck, man, and I think he gives a lot of good energy, but like, let's just keep it a buck. Like, if you're trying to compete, and if you're going to be missing OG now, Cat, it's a lot to make up for.
Yeah, you just gotta let him play through it, bro. You just gotta let him play through it. That's what it is at the end of the day. You just gotta let him play through it. And um, ideally, it's like you would hope that he could score the points to make up the difference. You feel me? Like you would hope that he could do that. Because if he's able to do that, then you're good. Because at most you break even. Or if the Knicks have a lead, then we're going to be playing the scoring game and the front running game. And we've seen numerous times where Cat can go on his own personal 6-0, 8-0 run, stretch the lead, make key plays when he needs to make them. But when you're going up against an equal offensive juggernaut, you got to have more in your bag than that. You just have to have more in your bag. You can't offer mid and mid. You got to pick a struggle. You have to pick a struggle. If defensive is your struggle, then you got to go nuclear on the other end to the point where you're working them and they may not have enough energy to expend to cook you on the other side. And this is where schematically, to like Big V and other folks' points, you could think about ways in which to maximize Cat, which may just end up playing Mitch next to Cat and letting Mitch handle the majority of the cleanup. But yeah, man, ain't no sitting down, bro. Ain't no sitting down. You all-star, you about to F around and make all NBA. Play through it. Play through it. Play through it.
That's what they got to do, man. You got to play through it at times. Let's get to another caller, Jeff. Yo, STG Nick, what's going on, man? I'm your mic. What's happening?
What's up, guys? Just got back from the game. Terrible snowstorm right now in the city. It's like sleet, rain, snow mixed. Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Sounds nasty.
Yeah, not as nasty as what occurred inside MSG though. But hey, I mean, we made progress. I think we gave up 29 threes in the opener. How many was it tonight? 19, 20, something around that? I don't know. 19. Okay, so we're getting there.
All good. They shot close to 49%, but yeah, we're getting there.
we are. It's improvement. I thought like one of the things though was still some of the shots they were hitting were tough though. Like in the third quarter, we cut it down to 6, and then Mikal Bridges 3, I think, made it 68-62. I thought we were, kind of getting, back into it. The Garden was getting loud. And then I believe we fouled like 2 3-pointers. There was some silly fouls there that I thought killed our momentum in transition there in the third quarter. And then after, like you made the point a little earlier, it was pretty much Jason Tatum going ISO 1-on-1, fallback baby, 3-pointers, and then that kind of sealed the deal. Thought they did a good job on Jaylen Brown for the most part. Peyton Pritchard killed them, but also I thought, who was his name? Kata looked pretty good. He made everyone on us look small. Block Cat on a drive. Luke Cornett looked big too. I thought we just have to look small. Yeah, Cat didn't have it. I thought we definitely needed a second scorer, especially with no OG. It's like one of those other guys needed to step up. I just didn't think Cat had it. Yeah, but overall, just disappointing loss. Hopefully we can get them back. If we lose again like this to them in the 23rd, that's not looking good.
No,
but yeah,
it won't look good, especially if we have the full roster. If we have the full roster and we're losing like this, it ain't going to be looking good at all.
Yeah,
so
definitely
that's
not.
The hope.
GGs.
Yeah, and that's the hope, is that you get everybody back. And I want to see them. I want to see both teams. And I kind of wonder, and Jeff, and I'm going to throw this to just the Knicks Nation out there at all. And STG Nick, appreciate the call as always, my guy. You always come through with the stadium report. Really appreciate it, my man. I got to ask everybody this, and so everyone in the chat can answer. Was KP being a last-minute scratch due to illness a way to be like, for the Celtics, like, you know what? Let's not see how many. Let's not give the Knicks a lot of opportunities to see what it looks like with Cat and figure it out and how to adjust, because we'll give them maybe one game, in the upcoming weeks where maybe everybody's back. But that's really it, man. The last time they're going to play is like, I think, April. And so like what's April, depending on where seeding, positioning, what's that really going to make? So part of me feels like, and this is just a tinfoil hat on, man, I'm just going a little out there. Kind of feel like that they didn't want to show off the full, like, I know Drew wasn't good to play, but I feel like they didn't want to show off like, oh, you want us, we know you got Cat because you want to match us with the stretch 5, but we ain't going to show you that yet.
Yeah, I don't know that's like too big brain even for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I get it. Like KP, he want to show out in the Garden. I think he want to show out in the Garden, so he would want to play. Now the question, if you want to put your tinfoil hat on, what kind of illness we talking about? Because I heard a nasty illness was spreading around the Eagles. Flu-like symptoms. Wonder what that could be, right? So what type of illness are we talking about? If you didn't eat, if it's not the type that you ate something bad and it's something else airborne, then good, don't play. Don't play. Because you know what? Mans ain't trying to get sick in the Bay Area, bro. Like y'all stay away and do whatever it is you have to do. But I don't know. I don't know if Missoula is 5D chessing it. You know what I'm saying? Like it
Hey,
probably
man, I'm
would have
just
made
throwing
it
it out
easier. I like it for discourse. But I don't know if they, you know what I'm saying, is big brain. Yo, man, it is what it is, man. Like I see there's a lot of D riders from Celtic D riders in the chat going off and whatnot. Y'all look, matter of fact, CP in the chat. I'm about to go off. No, matter of fact, no, I'm not.
Nah,
He's
Betty,
gonna watch
CP's
it.
not in the
He's
chat.
gonna-
Yeah,
CP's
right.
not,
I'm
CP's
right
not
here.
in
I'm
the
right
chat.
here.
CP's here. CP's
Oh, there
live.
he is.
I'm on
and
the
direct
Discord.
on the
I was
live.
like,
I'm on the
yo,
Discord.
I was about to I was about to kill the censor, bro, because they going crazy. They throwing shamrocks in here. I'm about to start calling it a bias attack right there.
Well, I mean, we could go at them, or maybe it's just a sign of respect. I mean, they got 100 million Celtics content creators. Maybe they're just not that good, so they're in here on the #1 show for the fans by the fans, looking for
Shots
friends.
fired.
No
Yeah.
Shamrock Fan TV.
They got all these guys.
No
They
bleed
got
green
NLS,
video.
they got John Corrales, all these guys. They're just not that good.
They go
So
to
we
X
won't-
videos after the game. They don't go to
Yes,
Celtics Fan
that
TV.
is
They go
correct.
to X videos. That's their favorite show. That's what they be on.
That is correct, man. That is correct.
Oh my goodness, CP, how's it going, man? How are you feeling? We're everyone's talking about no more watch parties. Get added
What's that?
and all this. Everyone's talking
Hey,
about.
y'all gotta bring some
Yeah.
sage to where was y'all Clinton? Y'all Clinton Hall? Y'all gotta bring some
Yeah,
sage to Clinton Hall. Every watch party gotta bring some Palo Santo and some sage, bro. I don't know. They
Listen, man.
scapegoating. They scapegoating right now.
Well, I mean that's just people's fears and insecurities. They need somebody to latch on to. That's we don't take that personal. Listen, we had over 300 people in the snow packed out at Clinton Hall. There wasn't an open seat or open table in the house. So, for the watch party police, sorry we were having too much fun for you guys. But I hate to break it to them, but the next watch party will be February 21st against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And, we will be packed again and we're gonna have a good time. So we don't worry about insecurity and fears by the people, man. That's just natural. It comes with the territory when you're the #1 show for the fans by the fans. But to the game,
anytime.
What's that?
They're telling the watch parties to call back anytime.
yeah. That's just people being scary and lame, but that's okay.
For sure.
I guess we all should have just watched it at home by ourselves, and maybe they would have won. It's just that type of like brainless energy, but it is what it is. Look, man, I didn't like the way we set the tone tonight. I did take Jason. Full disclosure, I took Jason Tatum higher than 25.5 tonight on the underdog.
Man.
Nasty
I
work.
didn't see. Yeah, it was nasty work, and he set the tone by putting Precious on a booster. Look, man, we haven't beaten this team. We're 6-1 against this team in the last 2 seasons.
I
They're
hate that
class
stat, by the
above
way.
us.
I hate that stat because guess what we were before that? We were 3-1 against that team.
Yeah, but guess what, Al? They're the champs. They're better. They're a class above. We're not in their class. That's reality. And so everybody's calling in as usual. Why didn't the coach make adjustments? What adjustment? Did anybody call in with a salient point about what adjustment should have been made? What adjustment? Knicks Fix calls in. Why are we in drop coverage? Karl Anthony Towns was a statue out there. Did you see the 3 plays when he actually moved up a little bit to the level? They blew right past him. Right past him. So, what is the adjustment that everybody's looking at? The Knicks are small. It doesn't matter if you put Deuce out there. He put Precious out there. Why? Because they were trying to get boards. Well, guess what? They got smoked tonight on the boards. Damn near by 20. They got outscored by 30 points from 3. What is the adjustment that these people are looking for that's going to win them this game? They're not in the same class as these guys. I just don't see it. Well, who's the person on the bench that's going to come out and save him? You're going to play Deuce? You're going to start? He started Deuce in the second half, and what happened?
Some would argue
They
saying,
got
"Hey, look,
smoked.
they got it." Hey, someone say, "Hey, they cut it down to 3, and look, maybe we should have done that and made it more of a game in the beginning."
Bro, they have so many different ways to beat you. Even when they cut it to 3, they can run it back up. They had 5 guys in double figures. Peyton Pritchard, 22 points off the bench. We got outscored by 30 from 3, fellas. 30. By 30.
Yeah.
If you can't stop the 3 and you can't shoot the 3 and you can't control the possessions, they got outclassed in every facet of the game. Even, yes, I understand. Like I was arguing to challenge the call on the McBride 3. Yes, you can argue that momentum, quote unquote, was taken away, but bro, they were putting their foot on the Knicks' neck the entire night. You still had to come back, take the lead, and close. They weren't going to do that tonight the way Jason Tatum was playing.
They've been outscored by plus 84 from the 3-point range for the past 2 games against the Celtics.
There you go.
Like we need a what do you call it? A ceasefire, a treaty at this point. Like, I don't know. That might be the adjustment. We might need diplomacy because this is an all-out assault. This is like different. They got big guns, bro. They got big guns.
They got big guns.
Hear you on that. I would say, CP, I would say the one adjustment would have been not to start Precious because I don't think against this team, especially with no OG, no Mitch, if you're giving yourself the best chance to win, you got to at least try to start off and match them energy for energy. And I know for a fact Deuce was going to come out and play defense. And even with that, if Jalen Brunson is your best defender and is playing with the most defensive intensity in the night, you're going to get cooked. 9 times out of 10, you're going to get cooked that night. And he had the best two-way performance, I think.
Yeah, he played like he gave a damn. I loved how he was, I love how he was fronting guys in the post. JB's effort was great. His roommate, on the other hand, had an abysmal night. He was getting cooked.
Bro,
he was getting absolutely cooked.
They treated this game like another regular game, and I said at the early beginning of the show, I'm like, they just don't come out ready to fight. They have to like get punched in the jaw, and then be like, whoa, hold on 1 second, we're better than this. And it's just like it's always way too late, man. I'm just getting frustrated. Yeah, and it's
they did the same thing last week against the Lakers, bro. They played timid. You can't do that against the champs, bro. You got to swing first.
Why do you think that's the case? Why do you think these back-to-back national games they've come out like off vibes and not with the killer instinct? Why do you think that's
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's the pressure. You think it's the personnel?
I think it's personnel, man. I think look, and we can argue about talent and all this type of stuff. I could say that you're giving me a face, Jeff. But look, I
was wondering if you meant talent or like mentality.
Mentality.
Okay.
I meant mentality. They got talent. There's no question that they got talent. Mentality-wise, though, like you got to come out there like Dante. You know Dante. If Dante was here, he'd be like, hold on 1 second. Ain't nobody's going to come here and show me up. Same thing with Isaiah Hartenstein. And for all the people who disliked Randall, all right, who are on the fence, he was going to give you the same thing. Not saying that team was going to come out here and win tonight. You need to have that type of mentality coming into these games. Not like, all right, I'm talented. I'm going to come out here and play like, oh, you know, like, let me just roll up in my slides and just be cool. Like we see, like you're pulling up to play pickup with your boys. Nah, man, like you're out here getting paid. You're out here to compete. You put this team together to be a championship contender. Show that you're actually a championship contender. That means you should have a killer instinct. Every single team you face, you should want to demolish them. You should want to embarrass them. Like the Celtics did to us tonight. There was a moment where it was like, hey, third quarter, we get it down to 3 points. Tatum said, hell no. No. I'm going to show you why I'm a killer. All right? Born personality and all. I'll show you why I'm a killer. JB came out, Jaylen Brown came out and said, I don't care who's in front of me. I'm going to body you. These guys were playing like crap for the last couple of weeks. Like, the Celtics good, And that's why when people ask me, like, how do you feel today? I'm like, Celtics are good for this matchup, man. Because they know, like, we made moves to compete with them. And they want to say to us, you're not us.
But bro, they put their foot on their necks, man.
And what the Knicks need to say is that we want to be there. We have to be there. And it doesn't feel like they have that urgency, bro. I don't know, CP, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that's certainly part of it, man. Like I said, you got to come out, you got to swing first. But again, like with the firepower that the Celtics have, you got to be able to control the possessions. That's why Precious started. He tried to get after it, get boards. You know, Mikal is a weak rebounder. You got Cat out there who probably, if it's against the Raptors team, the way he's looking, he looked out there, he probably wouldn't have played. But it was a double-edged sword. You play him, you lose by 25. You don't play him, you lose by 40. So you really didn't have a choice. But he looked terrible out there on both ends of the floor. They picked him apart from beginning to end. And, you know, it's just, hey, man, when your two best players are neutralized, JB started to pick it up later on for sure, but especially Cat, man, you get him neutralized. Josh Hart, like I told you, Al, when you don't have OG out there, it compounds the issue of the Knicks' inability to get easy shots inside if it's not in transition. It is. Because Cat is showing you that he's not going to have it all the time, especially inside. Mikal Bridges doesn't attack the basket. Brunson is smaller. They don't have a guy that can just go out there, attack the basket, and get easy shots. So good defenses like the Celtics are. They're good defense. They kept them out on the perimeter. They had no respect for Hart or Precious in terms of their spacing. And so they forced the Knicks to make tough shots. And if you're not going to make you tough shots, and then on the other end, you can't stop anything, you're going to have nights like this.
You're going to have nights like this indeed, man. What do you think? You think, because we had some callers calling and saying they should be resting Cat at this point. You resting Cat right now?
I mean, it's hard, man. They don't have any depth, man. The OG and Mitch are coming back after the All-Star break. Stims is gone. They literally have nobody. So, yeah, you could rest them. You're not going to win too many games. Sure, rest. But I was definitely concerned that after 3 days off after Toronto, he looked terrible. He couldn't move. That's a big concern, bro. Like, where did that? Is it the same right knee tendinopathy, the patella tendinopathy? And if it's that, then damn, 3 days and he got worse? That's a concern, man. But it's like, they don't have any margin for error. If they're already down players, they have no depth. So, yeah, rest them, sure, but that's just putting more tax on everybody else, man. They're in a tough spot, man.
Certainly in a tough spot, bro.
You know?
And that's why I think, certainly they are in a tough spot, and that's why I think he has to play, man. If he's capable of playing and it ain't that bad, he's got to be out there. Although, I don't know, man. He looked pretty good trying to go like tween and then try to go to the hoop, you know?
Wait, who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Cat, man. He beats dribbling behind the back, trying to like take guys off the dribble. I mean, that's where I'm like, how bad is the knee? Or is it you just don't want to try?
His shooting hand looked good. He don't got no more rap over it. That's what I was saying earlier, CP. Like, he dunked with his right hand. So now it's like, we got to get the leg right. No, we got to get the leg right, and then we'll be back to 100%. But something you said reminded me of something we didn't touch on yet, Alex. At some point, maybe it got to be Brunson. He got to have a talk with his man, Bridges, and tell him to become a killer on offense. If there's a night where Cat don't got it, they're specifically constructing the defense to eliminate the top two options. This is your time.
You gotta come alive, man.
The bat signal is up for you. You gotta attack. I don't want you to fade. Fade forward. Go into the contact. Lay it up. And to his credit, I didn't know Luke Cornett was gonna be Wemby tonight, right? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So they did try to attack him, and he just had like the spirit of MSG just overcame Luke Cornett, and he started playing crazy defense, right? But at the same time, you got to continue to attack. I seen that man score 40. You can't trick me. I know you can do it. You gotta attack at this point, because then if you out there waiting for your spot, you're playing into the Celtics' hand. You playing into the Lakers' hand. Because now, to your point, CP, the blueprint is out there. If OG ain't there, force the non-shooters to beat us. Everybody else will take it off the board, and they're playing right into their hands. So Bridges has to be able to step up. We got to see first option Bridges in these moments, like we saw him against San Antonio. That's the only other thing I could really think of, and I know he was fighting for his life against Tatum. I know it, but bro, at some point I think that's my issue with this team. My main issue is that they're consistently inconsistent with their mentality. They're going to have good games. They're going to have bad games. But last year, I think the only time they really got smacked was Game 7. When they lost everybody, and it was me, you, and Alex that had to come in to play with Burks and DiVincenzo, right? Like that's when they got smacked, and they literally had to fall apart to get to get to that point. This team, they get down by 20, it gets to the fourth quarter, it's like, all right, man, we're on to the next one. And I just hope that doesn't carry over.
Yeah, man, you went 5 for 15 tonight, but like I said, man, that's the thing. Like, if your jumper's not falling, they can't get inside shots, and they're not creating turnovers and getting out in transition, you're cooked. And not defending the three, you're cooked.
And it's just so tough, man. This team is so bad at guarding the three. It's just like, and the thing is, they shot well from three, like a percentage standpoint. They didn't get up the amount of shots they should be getting up, but the Celtics are just good at preventing that. I mean, they shot 38% from downtown. Like, you can't ask any better. Like, that's good shooting. So the fact that the Celtics can go out there and just shoot 49% and get another, like, another 15 more shots on you.
Right. That's where the boards come in. That's why you're trying to start Precious, because you have no Mitch. The iHeart's not coming through that door. Julius is gone. They don't have many options, bro. You put Bride out there, they're just shooting right over him. They're getting boards over him. Like, they're in a tough spot, man. They're in a tough spot. The team is just not balanced. So hopefully, after All-Star, you get OG, you get Mitch back, and you see where you can go from there. But it looks bad on nights like this, man, against a team like this. They get exposed.
They just need they just need guys to come back, CP, at this point, as you point out.
Yeah.
We just need OG, we need Mitch, we need to get healthy, and then thankfully Mitch is returning after All-Star breaks. We'll have 2 months, a month and a half or what.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And so
if they can't beat this team,
and
they might have to seriously consider it's either you go after 1 or you fade to 4. And you see the Cavs in the second round. Because then at this point, the question is, what would you rather? Go to the conference finals and get swept by these dudes, or or gentlemen swept in the second round? Like now, what does a meaningful season mean to you? Right? Like, we seen other teams play the gamesmanship with seeding. If it comes down to we got to see them at the latest possible time. The best you could do is get that 2 seed to at least say that you play a Game 7 in the Garden for whatever that's going to be worth.
Yeah. What Berman say on Twitter, he's like, best bet for the Knicks is having the Celtics get to the 1 seed. But hey, man, the way Cleveland is looking, not likely. Not likely, man. So, hey, just got to get some reinforcements back and get back to the drawing board, man. We'll be all right, man. We'll be all right, man. You know what I'm saying?
We'll be all right. How's the watch party though, man? Before you get out of here, how's the watch party?
Yeah, it was great, man. Shout out to everybody that came through. It was just always a W for KFTV. The haters don't like that. They get chapped up when we go out and have a good time with our people, man. That's just not allowed. We have to be miserable like everybody else. So, people don't like that. But nah, man, we had over 300 people in the place. The place was packed out. Shout out to Clinton Hall. They always show love. Eric L. Beats and everybody was there. Ty, KFTV Enforcer was there. Cedro, the usual crew. And then, man. Yeah, we had a good time, man. I'm surprised a lot of people came out given the weather conditions. So definitely shout out to everybody that came out despite that. And, this is a good vibe nevertheless, man.
That's what I like to hear, man. Having a good vibe. That's the whole point of the watch parties, man. Hang out, have fun, be with your friends, network, do all those good things, man. That's the whole point of the watch party, to have a good time. Vibe out, chill, root for the team that you all love, bleed orange and blue for.
Yeah,
it ain't that deep.
it really ain't that deep, man. But it is what it is. But yeah, we will be back February 21st. Knicks versus Cavs. Might be at Slate, might be at Clinton Hall, but we'll put the bat signal out and get the people who want to come out, man. Sucker free zone, man. It's not for the weak, it's not for the faint of heart, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gotta ask, bro. What are y'all really beefing about? Do you want to see this team suffer so that you get engagement? I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying, like, why do like, it's getting really corny, yo. It's honestly getting corny on these apps, on these streaming platforms, that you wait for misery to get your
Yeah.
take off. Like the same people who will tweet the whole game about everything going wrong. These dudes go on a run, it's crickets. Then you
Yeah.
come back. See, that's why you got to fire Thibs. Like, what are we talking about? It's not going to be fanning police, but it's getting really corny. It's getting really corny. Like, everybody can't be a star. Everybody can't go viral. Go viral naturally. Don't try to go viral off the back of supposedly your favorite team, because you know rage bait gets more engagement than actually having love for your squad. You could critique them, you could be tight, you could get your jokes off, but actively creating narratives just for the sake of engagement is whack. I really got. I know it's a family show, but I really got to hold back on that. Like, I get my jokes off about the watch party with lost record, but people be really tight. They really be upset.
Yeah.
It's as if they think you cast voodoo, CP.
Hey, it's a very it's an awkward position of power that people bestow on us. We appreciate it, but we're not that powerful. It ain't that deep. So, it just is what it is. Like I said, well, when you really dissect it, it's really a brainless thing. But then you realize that it's just personal issues with people. So it is what it is, man. We have a good time with the people who show out, and then that's it, man. We'll continue to do that, man. And,
show up anytime. Show up.
That's
anytime.
it. Call back anytime, man. I'm gonna catch up with y'all, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Later.
All right, CP. That was CP the franchise on the call, on the check-in after the watch party at Clinton Hall tonight. Didn't go the way that we wanted, but CP saying, I don't care. I'm still throwing watch parties, as he should. All right, still throwing watch parties. Although CP didn't tell everybody, he's got the little dolls with the pins and needles. That he does carry that in his equipment bag, just in case. Don't worry about that. He does know how to do all that stuff. All right, you'll see him just go like, woo.
And we gotta talk to the Chiefs fans about that, because whatever type of hellmouth they got at Arrowhead, boy, and they in New Orleans tomorrow. Good luck, Philadelphia, because if it's a one-score game, that game is over.
Man, and I see some people like, oh, I'm tired of the Chiefs. As a Jets fan, Chiefs keep winning. I need you to erase Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. I need you to erase it expeditiously. All right, I can't. I had 20 some odd years having to watch that man succeed. Please, anything. Do what you got to do. But let's get to some more calls, man. Let's make this rapid fire. Let's get through these other calls that we got on the line. Let's start off with LB. LB, what's going on, man? Unmute your mic. What's happening? LB going once. LB going twice. All right, man. I gotta put you back on mute. All right, let's check. Let's see if Zach's back here. Zach, are you back? Zach, unmute your mic. Zach going once.
Yeah, you hear me?
Yes, sir. Zach, what's happening, man? How you feeling? Welcome to the show.
Yes. Yeah, it was an unfortunate night, but I mean, like everybody wants to be negative. I mean, tonight was just an unfortunate night, It happens. Things, it's part of being a Knicks fan. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but this was an unfortunate night.
Yeah,
that's all I can say.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, man. Look, it's tough. It's tough when you watch this team and we want to see them win. We want to see them compete. Is there anything that you want
I mean, the only thing I can say is that there was that 5-point lead, obviously by the Celtics. And Thibs had the opportunity to challenge that play just as a momentum aspect. It had nothing to do with whether or not we win or lose that challenge. It was more of a momentum thing. And I think that Thibs had that opportunity. That's all I have to say. It's that 7-point to 5-point issue.
This is true. Appreciate the call, Zach. Appreciate the call. Hey, man, I mean, it's tough because you look back at that play and I don't even know if we would get it. I think if anything at that point, it's like trying to ice the kicker. If you make that call, just take even more time for yourself. Essentially, you're just calling the timeout early and just trying to be like, oh, it's going to happen. But if you can't, allowing them to continue to play, just allowed the Celtics just to stay in a groove. So is what it is, man. Can't win all the calls, but hey, the guy on the iPad said, don't do it. So Thibs didn't do it. All right, let's get to David. David, what's going on, man? Unmute your mic. What's happening?
What's going on, Alex? Jeff, how you been?
Good,
Doing-
good.
Doing all right, man. What were your thoughts about this game tonight?
Well, I'm glad you're doing all right because this game just made me lose so much hope. I remember last time I called. It was like right after the Denver game. I mean, I wasn't jumping out the window, but I was like, let's just get our defense intact. But honestly, it goes beyond defense. I feel like our depth is lacking. I think Thibs wasted a phenomenal Brunson-Tatum duel because they both went off today. And he insists on running a Precious and Josh Hart plus a center lineup, and it's just befuddling to me because it puts not just Precious. I can't even blame the players because it puts not just Precious in a bad situation where he's not going to succeed, but it makes Brunson's shot diet even worse. It clogs up the paint for Josh Hart, so he can't even cut as well. And you saw the difference when they put Deuce in. We made a whole comeback. We're only down 3, and then of course the momentum. We lose the momentum off the Deuce foul. I don't really care if Thibs challenged it or not because I don't think it was going to get overturned. But either way, that was the momentum killer right there. And then Josh Hart, this might be the worst game I've seen him play in his Knicks career. I felt like he didn't give any effort at all. I mean, maybe he did, and I'm being unfair, but I just didn't see the normal Josh Hart effort I usually see. And then on top of that, Cat, I respect the effort, but he's clearly not healthy. And I don't know. I know you guys were talking earlier in the call about whether or not we should let him sit. I think maybe he has to skip out on All-Star Weekend. To me, Cat sitting depends on how long it takes. If it's 1 to 2 weeks, fine. We could take someone else. Sit. If it's more than that, then it gets iffy because you're bringing Mitch back, and he's not the best at conditioning when he comes back. So if that's going to be an issue, then we also have to discuss whether or not Cat should be leaving right when Mitch comes back. But no player is perfect, and that's why I'm not fully blaming Precious. But I think Thibs digs the team into the deepest holes by making lineups such as the Precious lineup, and then you have to work twice as hard to get into the game against the champs. I feel like our slow start was a combination of bad coaching philosophy, and I'm usually a Thibs defender, but in this game I thought it was a combination of bad coaching philosophy and lack of effort.
Lack of coaching philosophy and lack of effort in this one. Appreciate the call, Dave. Appreciate the call. Man, it's kind of been the theme of the entire night, man. Lack of effort, questioning the coach. What could we do? Hey, it's gonna happen after every L.
And that's the thing. It's like I'm tapped in NBA wise. They be talking about Steve Kerr and Warriors land like he ain't a child of God, bro. Like some of the decisions that he makes. So this isn't just endemic to the Knicks fan base. Every fan base got an issue with their coaches and all of that and whatnot. So I ain't gonna put that on Knicks fans. I don't know what type of coaching stops Jason Tatum from going nuclear, from them being able to hunt matchups. I like I said, if you want to say, hey, you start your best lineup that you have against the Celtics. Whatever it is, you give them your best from the jump. And you don't play around. You don't try to big brain it and say, well, I'm going to match size for size, or hey, I need this person off the bench. You can stagger rotations. You could do different types of things to mitigate the loss of somebody off your bench to put him in the starting lineup. But this is similar to what the Cavs are going to have to decide. They got Ty Jerome as their 6th man right now. DeAndre Hunter was working as a 6th man in Atlanta and was in the running like one of the top 6 men in the league. He got to start now. Just for the sake of, he needs to start. Because his length, his size, his long distance shooting, and just having another 6'8" guy there to protect Donnie and Garland, because they have a small backcourt. You need as much size and outside shooting as you're going to get. That's probably going to be their best lineup. So they got to start with it. When you're down personnel and you're playing against that team, you got to give them your best. So coaching wise, I hear y'all. But past that, this wasn't a schematic breakdown. This was a belt to ass beatdown. That's just what it was. This was yo, don't go to Winston's house. He cursed at his mom's. You already know she working him out. You know what I'm saying? Like he gonna be he
Listen,
ain't
now
coming
he's going
outside
dark.
to play.
Wow.
He ain't coming outside to shoot hoops for a week, bruh. He ain't going. He's on the IR.
I know this is KFTV after dark, but holy cow, that just got dark real quick. All right, let's liven up the mood a little bit, man. Let's go into our next segment, then we're gonna wrap it up with LB and Sayquizzy will be our closer for tonight. All right, so let's get to key stats of the night. All right, brought to you by DraftKings. Let's talk about the key stats tonight. All right, and just looking at the stats, just like when you look at the chart at NBA.com, it shows you. All right, here's where the Celtics, or like here's where Team A was, here's where Team B was, like on the graph. Like, it just goes up and down. If there's, like, multiple lead changes, I just see just all green, no blue. That's nasty work, all right? I just don't like seeing that at all. But let's get to it. All right, 131 for the Boston Celtics, 104 for the Knicks. As CP pointed out earlier, the Knicks lost the rebounding battle 48-30. They really needed to control the glass in this one, even though the Celtics and the Knicks put up about the same amount of shots, all right? Knicks lost the assist battle 21-16. Good Lord, under 20 assists. You don't like to see that for this team who just knows how to move the rock so well. Knicks did win the steal battle 9-6. They lost the block battle 7-1. They won the turnover battle just by 1, 10-9. And then this is where it just starts to get lopsided. Celtics shot 54% from the field. Knicks shot 42%. Celtics shot 49% from downtown. Knicks shot 38%. And then when you look at the free throw discrepancy, Knicks did win that one, shot 86 from the free throw line. Celtics shot 83. And then when you look at, these other key categories, Knicks won the fast break points 11-7. They also lost. They lost the last two. I was like, holy cow, am I reading that right? Knicks lost the points in the paint battle. Almost. This is very close. 46-42. Boston won that one. Second chance opportunities. This is where the Knicks just got dominated, and this is where we saw the rebounding battle just be completely lopsided. Celtics had 16 second chance opportunities. The New York Knicks only had 4. And they need to be able to control the boards if they were going to win this game, man. If they're going to compete with Boston at all, they just have to win the rebounding battle. Those are some of the key stats for tonight. Jeff, what are your takeaways, or is there a stat that I'm missing that that you can take away from this game?
Nah, man, I think you covered it all. I'm definitely down with the Occam's razor theory, where the simplest answer is usually the best answer. They got beat plus 30 on 3-point shots in a game they lost by what? 27, 26?
Yeah.
27 points. The Celtics were up plus 30 in threes, 10 more threes plus 30 to a team that the world knows is letting it fly from beyond the arc.
Yeah.
You can't guard the 3 against the Celtics. Excuse me. You better do like the Mavs. And you better shoot lights out and throw a bunch of 6'9" dudes in their grill when they're shooting. And that game, Mavs and the Celtics, the Mavs couldn't miss. The problem is in a 7-game series, you're hoping that happens 4 times.
Yeah.
And mathematically, it's not impossible, but it's also improbable. So yeah, I think that was the biggest thing for me. The second chance points are crazy. Oh Lord. The second chance points are crazy. And I think you started Precious to control the boards. You got out rebounded by almost 20. Started Deuce in the second half to inject some life. You were right there, and then you got punched in the grill and did not get up. It is what it is, man. They play in 2 different sports. They shooting at different baskets than the Knicks right now. So you just gotta get your whole team. You gotta get some more experience points. Go out farming, get the EXP, level up, and then face that team again. Because right now the Celtics, that boss is. You don't got the skills. You don't got the spells. You don't got the weapons. You don't got the level enough to beat them right now.
You're reminding me of Black Myth Wukong, where I'm just stuck on the swivel right now. You're bringing up bad times. But hey, anyway, this is Key Stats of the Night brought to you by DraftKings. And people, remember, from the football playoffs to college and pro basketball to the rush of hockey, It's all happening, and all you can get in one of the and you can get it all in one action of the sports that you love at DraftKings Sportsbook. All right. So, people, if you don't know what DraftKings Sportsbook is, it's an app. Online sports betting is becoming prominent. All you got to do, just sign online, choose what you want to do. You can look at the odds, you can look at money lines, whatever you're all into. Okay, you can make your parlays. There's a lot of options to do through DraftKings. Okay, sometimes when I go on there, I like to choose Josh Hart for a triple double. What I like to do is just put a few, not go crazy. Some of y'all like to put like 12 thing parlays together and just try to go big or go home. I appreciate that, but for me, I like to keep it on the light end, man. Put like 3-4 players that I feel like can get a little cash. It's the small ones, man. It's absolutely the small ones. So make sure to go support our sponsor, DraftKings. All right. Make every game day with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code KFTV. That's code KFTV for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you just bet $5. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. So make sure to support our sponsor, DraftKings. Use that promo code KFTV. All right, let's get these last few callers in and wrap this thing up. LB, I'm going to give you another chance, my man. LB, you there? Unmute your mic, please. LB going once.
Come on, LB.
LB going twice.
Can you take him off mute? Maybe his mute is messed up.
Nah, I can't do that. Hold on.
I shot you all the bail I had, LB. I shot you all the bail I had.
Damn. Look, man. 3 strikes. All right, give you 2 chances, man. Whew. Got to be ready. Got to come correct. All right. Sayquizzy. I know you there, man. Sayquizzy, what's going on, man? Unmute your mic. How you feeling today?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
We can hear you.
I'm a little tight right now. This loss was worse than the first one.
Why you aggy, man? Tell us how you feel.
I gave the first one a pass because I'm like, yo, we a new team, Boston, ring night, whatever. This one, no KP, no Holiday, and we still get cooked by 30. Like, it's looking bad. Pritchard came off the bench, dropped 25. He had more points than Cat and Bridges combined. That is not good at all. And then, like, we keep, like, I don't understand, like, why we give up so many threes, knowing that's what Boston does. They make threes, even, like, they make tough threes, but for some reason, we give up open shots sometimes, and then the Cat defense was terrible. Pick and roll, he don't step up, 3. He does step up, blow by. Right to the rim, no help, no nothing. And I understand we ain't have no OG, no Robinson, but I don't really see that much of a difference because Tatum, the first game, he dropped 37. Now this game, he dropped 40. And Bridges was guarding those games, and he cooked. And then you could say Brown didn't really have a crazy game. Like, he didn't really do too much. It was Pritchard to me. And then, say Porzingis is in that lineup. Then what? They just going to do pick and roll Porzingis. Then you have Bridges picking up Porzingis. That's easy. Then if you have Bridges helping out a Cat, Porzingis is open. And then if you don't help, it's going to be a blow by again. Like, we need Mitchell Robinson to understand that. But then if they play Al Horford or KP, they just going to put Robinson on the 3. Like, yeah, he's going to give us more rebounds, yeah. But if we don't make shots, that ain't going to really matter. He's going to get blocks here and there. But they just going to go for the 3 then. Like, hopefully we make it a game. Next time we play them, we keep it close. Because that's all I really want to see, like, how we match up. Right now, we just getting beat by 30. And it's not looking good at all.
It's tough, man. Appreciate the call, Sayquizzy. Appreciate the call. Sayquizzy, Aggie, man. He's aggravated. He's like, I gave this team pass. Second time. Nah, man. Can't be doing this.
He said, I gave y'all one chance. And y'all ruined it. So now F all y'all. I'm tired of these losses. I feel them. I feel them, man. That is annoying.
It's aggravating, bro, because it's just like, I think expectations for teams, like, especially when they become contenders, like, you just want to see it just move in the right direction, man. You want to see them be able to win. You want to see that, hey, you're competitive, right? And so when you think of, I don't know what, when the Heat is like probably the craziest thing because you brought into like the most talented players possible, right? At the top end. But you could at least say, hey, they took like not expecting championship, but like you knew it was going to be competitive. It's another good one. I guess like even last year, Celtics, right? First time with Drew Holiday and KP on the team, and they go to the finals and win it all. I mean, that's tougher to do, but it's like you want to at least see that the team that you've constructed can hang with the guys who are also contenders in the league. And
Fact.
so that's where it's just getting frustrating. And you said it earlier in the show. They're a contender with a lowercase c, meaning it's based on matchup. Like you have to get the right matchup.
Right.
And I know you're talking about, do you want to play the game? Like, do you fall back a little bit? I hate playing that game, man, because I feel like you get out of rhythm doing that stuff, and you just get any team that does that just gets suckered every single time. It's like, no, we don't want to play them. Let's drop a little bit, and then you get into the position that you want, and then you play the team that just comes out there and wants it more, right? And so, I don't know. It's a difficult position. It's just frustrating, bro. It's just really frustrating.
It is. I wanted them.
And
I
for me,
wanted
it's just
this win.
frustrating because I'm out here, and then I'm just getting my phone blown up by Celtics fans. Like, yo, what happened, man? It's so sick of this. Just sick of it.
I feel you, man. I feel you 100%. I really wanted this win. I want the wins. I'm looking at it like I'd rather get the losses now and get the wins when they matter. Yeah, you practice the way that you play, and they're going to have to figure it out. But I've had teams that have swept teams like the Celtics and have nothing to show for it. No rings, no postseason success.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the Knicks? Didn't the Knicks sweep Atlanta in 2021?
Yep.
And then they lost to them in 5, right? For whatever reason, they lost to them in 5 when we thought it was the Knicks that were going to be winning in 5. So that's how I reflect on the regular season. I'm definitely not in the camp that the regular season doesn't matter. I still think that's BS. I do think you get a better sense when you have your squad and you're playing against other teams. You get a better sense of where you are. And I think they need to figure it out. They need to figure out if they're going to be a serious team. And I think they are a serious team, but now they got to figure out if they want to be a consistent team. That's the biggest thing. Be consistent and everything else will fall into place.
Yeah. Be consistent and everything will fall into place. I think that's a good way to end right here. Jeff, appreciate you as always, my man. Appreciate you for being on the show. Let the listeners know where they can find you, man, because you got a lot going on.
Yes, sir. Jeff J says all social media, also on NBA Digital, doing voiceover highlights. So if y'all will watch a League Pass today and you heard a familiar voice, you wasn't bugging, it was me. So I do the NBA top 10 now and again, and highlights on .com, WNBA.com as well. You can catch me on various Turner platforms, TNT Sports, doing my thing, and Casual Friday, Knicks Film School. Mostly every Friday, getting people on and talking about the week that was and the week that's gonna be with the Knicks. So, thank you so much. You know, it's always a vibe with you, Alex, and the Knicks the Knicks Fan TV fan base. Y'all always welcome me with open arms. It's always a good time. I like it better when we win.
Yeah,
but it's good. It's good when we're able to commiserate together and try to figure out answers and laugh through the pain, because y'all be cracking me up. The chat is hilarious. The callers are hilarious. I like Angry CP on the low. I love Angry CP on the low because he be getting at y'all. And he be frustrated.
Aggie CP. CP's getting, look, man. We were all there at CP's 40th birthday. He's now crossed into that threshold where he now just gets, more aggravated at a lower threshold. You know what I mean? So, like, look, he'll probably see somebody outside playing catch. You know what I mean? Be like, get off my lawn. That's probably him at this point, man. He's probably just,
It
Birdwatch.
isn't.
He's talking about Birdwatch at this point, man. That's where he's at this point of his career. All right.
Listen, Alex, you already know it isn't pretty, but it's gritty.
Oh my God. Good Lord. Here we go. That's all I need to hear. All right, man. Jeff, appreciate you as always for joining the show, man. Make sure to follow Jeff if you haven't already done so. He's on all social media platforms. And salute to Knicks Nation for all tuning in yet again. Appreciate you all for tapping in for another KFTV post game live. All right, and let me salute some super chats. You know, shout out to Tuto, by the way, for Game of the Week preview super chat. I did see it. My apologies for not calling that one out. And let's call out some of the super chats that we got tonight. I'm just pulling it up right now. Shout out to Tizzy73 with the $5 super chat. Shout out to you for being a franchise channel member. Says, with Tiz, we better get used to saying next year every year. Oof. Come on now. Come on. Can't be that. Can't be that dark. Come on now. Come on. All right. We got to believe at some point that things are going to turn around. Come on, Tizzy. That's a little too dark for me. All right. We also got one. We got another $5 super chat from Big Mike. Salute to, says, salute, fellas. Can we all just admit Cat at the 5 nullifies our defensive hustle and effort? Insta-fix Mitch, we need you, fam. Cat at 4 is the answer. Someone gave him a like for that. Look, hey, that's why the Timberwolves went out and got Rudy Gobert. They did not like Cat at the 5, you know? And I know that Cat likes playing the 5 and that he can make that offensively a big mismatch, but this is where I'm looking forward to having Mitchell Robinson back, man. And I think personally, I know that Rudy Gobert is like defensive player of the year and all that type of stuff. I think Mitch is better. Mitch doesn't get played off in the postseason. We saw what he did against the Cavs when he's healthy. We even saw how he could perform before he got, you know, attacked by a bum named Joel Embiid out in Philadelphia. So that's a whole other story.
Shit.
Yeah. So, man, look, salute to Knicks Nation once again. Salute to all the franchise channel members. Shout out to Life of a Leo in here. Shout out to P. McG. Shout out to you. Who else we got in here? I saw we got Respect Shack in here. Shout out to Junior Karoma as always. JJ, I see you in the chat too, my guy. Shout out to you. Who else we got in here? Mark Best, shout out to you for being a franchise channel member as well. We got Del Will, shout out to you. Will Rose in the chat. Shout out to all our franchise channel members, man. Shout out to all you for being here. I know John Talento was in here earlier. Jamaica Queen, shout out to you. Do things. Appreciate you all for tuning in for another KFTV post game live. Look, if you can't catch the show live, you already know what to do, all right? You can go find us on any audio listening platform, Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Alexa, Stitcher, you name it. We are there. On top of that, you can just be part of replay gang, man. You can just go log into youtube.com/KnicksFanTV. Catch the show on the replay. Leave your comments as you all always appreciate. We'll read it. We'll engage. So there's another way to do that. Make sure to subscribe to our newsletter as well through Beehive. So make sure to do that. And also, make sure to support our sponsors. Make sure to support DraftKings. Use that code KFTV. And make sure to support our other sponsor, SeatGeek. Use KFTV10 to get 10% off so that when you go find your seats, doesn't matter what event, sporting, concerts, so forth, you'll get that 10% off, all right? So make sure to support our sponsors. Salute to all of you yet again. Salute to Knicks Nation. We'll catch you on the other side, all right? We got Tuesday, Indiana Pacers. You already know what it is. We'll be there for play-by-play and post-game. All right, everyone. We out.